Hey guys, Dr. Steph here from Living Health Integrative Medicine, and I wanted to put this quick presentation together for you about sweeteners, especially those sweeteners that are safe for even diabetics. These are sweeteners that I use. I don't have diabetes, but I use these sweeteners so that I don't get diabetes. And I get asked a lot from our patients, especially those with diabetes, what are the products that I can use? Where can I find stuff? So I want to go through this list. This is my list of the things that either I use or have used. And different sweeteners are good for different things. Whether you're baking or trying to sweeten a sauce or trying to, make iced tea or whatever. And so there's different benefits to each of these, and I'm actually gonna walk through Amazon and show you how to look for products that are either made with this or that say they are this, because there's a lot of manufacturers out there that stuff other things into these sweeteners that are really not good. And so I want to show you what's good and what's not good so that you guys get really comfortable with searching on your own for different products and things like that. So that you can keep your good long-term results as far as your diabetes reversal. So the natural sweeteners, this is in the order of what I like, sort of. Monk fruit. Monk fruit is actually an extract from a fruit. It's also known as low-hand fruit extract. It's completely natural. It is very sweet. It is 100 times sweeter than sugar. Very similar category to stevia, which is also a natural extract from a leaf. I've actually tasted the leaf of a stevia plant. It's very sweet, and it tastes just like what stevia tastes like, which for some people, they don't like it. It actually tastes like artificial because it has a kind of a natural metallic taste to it. Monk fruit is great because it is pretty much the same consistency and super sweetness as stevia, but it doesn't have that metallic taste, so it's just sweet. It dissolves very easily in liquid. You only need a pinch if you're using pure monk fruit. So it's good for things like sweetening a tea or herbal tea, or I make whipped cream out of coconut cream, like the high-fat coconut cream. And this is what I use instead of icing sugar to sweeten it. You only need a very little bit, which is nice. Allulose is a granular white sugar that is sugar-free. It is actually another fruit extract. It's extracted from many fruits, including things like fig. But what's beautiful about allulose is it looks like sugar, it tastes like sugar, and it acts like sugar. So this is what you can use in your baking. So if you're making a pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving, and you need 1 cup of sugar or whatever, then you would literally just use 1 cup of allulose. You would treat allulose like it was sugar, okay? But it will not disrupt your actual blood glucose because it is absorbed and digested, but it's not metabolized. It's like sugar, so it actually doesn't affect your blood sugar at all. Inulin is similar as far as its sweetness, so it's a 1-to-1 with sugar also. It is a fiber it's a prebiotic fiber that's extracted from things like Jerusalem artichoke. And so prebiotics are great for your probiotics. It can be a little disruptive to some people's digestion. For me, I think I have a reaction to it. But we have a ton of patients that use it, and they bake with it, they cook with it, and they're fine. But just know that sometimes with these sweeteners, because they are high fiber, prebiotic, you may or may not have a reaction to it. You won't know until you try. For me, I get very, very, very bloated, and it runs out of my system, and then I'm done with it. But that's me and inulin. But I don't want to, steer you away from trying it because it is a very nice fiber, sugar sweetener, sugar replacement that is awesome for blood sugar. So, give it a try. And then xylitol is a sugar alcohol. The sugar alcohols like xylitol and erythritol. I don't think there's a place for doing a ton of massive amounts of, sugar baking and breads and things like that. Xylitol is going to be something you're going to find more in your sugar-free gum that's going to be actually okay for the teeth without having aspartame or Splenda or sucralose or some of the other really artificial toxic sweeteners. Xylitol might also be in your toothpaste if it's a natural organic toothpaste. And it might be a little bit in like hard candy that you have once in a while that's sugar-free, that doesn't have all the bad artificial sweetener stuff in it. So in this day and age, this is an essential thing to review, because in the past, before we had these options, if you got zero, sugar or sugar-free candy, it was guaranteed that it was going to have toxic sweeteners in it. Now, if you do a search for, sugar-free candy, some of these items will show up, and these are actually okay. So it's really important to make that distinction. So not all sugar-free is the same. Not all things that are, labeled zero are going to be the same, although zero still kind of signals to me really chemical artificial sweeteners. Now, the two last sweeteners at the bottom here, they do have sugar. They are lower glycemic than regular sugar, so they won't spike sugar as fast. They're definitely more natural, and they have minerals and electrolytes and things like that. And in small amounts here and there, that might be something that's okay. So dark maple syrup, so grade A dark maple syrup is the natural syrup, so not Aunt Jemima, corn syrup. And then coconut sugar. So there's actually a sugar that's made from coconut. It's like a really flavorful brown sugar. So sometimes if you add that in, with the allulose, if you're baking and you want that kind of taste, it will add sugar, but it won't be very, very high sugar, and it won't be a very high glycemic sugar. So those are a little more natural. So if you experimented, for example, you made some cookies or a cake with coconut sugar and allulose, and the sugars went up, well, then you just try the cake with just allulose and see how that goes, okay? So that's just kind of how you work the sweeteners. Now, what I want to do is get off this page and go to Amazon. And so you guys can see how I search for stuff for you, especially the diabetics, when we're looking for really trying to keep sugars down. So monk fruit. Okay, so we pop up here. So I happen to know that the Splenda and the Lakanto monk fruit sweetener, when they say 1-to-1, like you can see here, it says 1-to-1, that's going to be, that's an erythritol and with monk fruit added product. This is mostly erythritol. So you can see erythritol is the first ingredient. It's probably going to be in the range of like 90+% erythritol and a very small amount of monk fruit. They should just be calling it erythritol. Anyway. So that's not a product I would buy, because I don't want that much sugar alcohol when I'm cooking. What I would be looking for is monk fruit, nothing else. So like this product here, just monk fruit. And then you're going to confirm it on the label, and you're going to see that it is ingredients just monk fruit. Yes, monk fruit right there. So this is going to be very, very concentrated, very, very sweet. You're not going to use 1 cup of this in baking. You can see 1/32 of a teaspoon is 2 teaspoons of sugar. That's the conversion with this product. So this is very concentrated. And then the other form of monk fruit that I really like, and I keep on hand, is the monk drops. So these guys here, I don't even know. Let me just check Splenda. Splenda for me is code for artificial sweetener garbage, but they're all competing now. So some of them are, let me see if I can find what's in this, because I don't believe that it's just monk fruit. Keto friendly. See, they don't make it easy, do they? So if I scroll down here, oh wow, you can buy bulk monk drops. I'm looking for I can't even find the full ingredient list. For some reason, I don't believe it's actually pure monk. So this is the one I use. This literally is pure monk fruit. It tells you 6 drops equals 1 teaspoon of sugar. The drops are nice because you can put it literally into a liquid. There you go. Ingredients. This one's pure monk. So this is the one I use. So there's no sugar, pure monk fruit, good to go. No other funky business as far as that goes. one thing you want to watch out for is if you're looking for stevia or monk fruit and you see something in it called dextrose. So I'm going to show you a product if I can find it here. Here we go. So this is a brand that you'll see a lot at the grocery store, right? And oh, it's not showing me. Shoot. Let me look up that brand. Monk fruit in the raw. Monk fruit in the raw. It sounds like sugar in the raw. It sounds awesome. It sounds whole and healthy. And it's actually not good. Total garbage, actually. I'm going to show you why. And this is true for the stevia and the raw from the same company. Oh, here we go. Okay, so the first ingredient on this is dextrose. Dextrose is basically, in a lot of ways, code for sugar from corn. So you want to stay away from that and stick with just either an inulin as the first ingredient, right? That's that fiber. So you'll sometimes see monk fruit mixed with inulin, and that dilutes it so that it can be used one-to-one with sugar. You might even find the erythritol. That is the sugar alcohol. I wouldn't use that a lot. I just would stick with pure stevia or pure monk fruit and don't have all the other stuff in it, okay? If you want inulin, then you would look for inulin. So let's look for inulin powder. So something like this would be an organic inulin powder. And that would be your prebiotic. That would be a one-to-one with sugar, roughly. And so you could use that for baking. You can get 1 pound bags of it. You can see here as far as that goes, okay? Chicory root, Jerusalem artichoke, that's where that comes from. And then allulose. This is your actual sugar replacer that I think is a great sweetener. I find it at Amazon. I'm sorry, at Safeway here in Maryland. But you can see here, Anthony's allulose. The only ingredient right there at the bottom is allulose. And you can see what it looks like. It is a granular type sugar. So this is a great white sugar replacer or a brown sugar replacer, okay? So that's how you're going to find those. So if we look for something, let's say you wanted a hard candy, I'm just going to look up keto candy just because keto is short for ketogenic, which is high fat, very, very low sugar. So these are going to be, no carb, no sugar kind of candies. And you wanted this one here, like Stevia. So stevia is going to be in it. It will probably have something else in it. I want you to see. Yes. So it has something called isomalt. Now, isomalt, you got to be careful. When you see malt, sometimes that can mean corn sugar, some kind of modified corn sugar. But in this particular brand, just because I happen to have searched this before for people, I happen to know that their isomalt, here it is, they use isomalt from GMO sugar, non-GMO sugar cane. So this is the... it's a sugar alcohol from organic sugar cane, so it's not corn, and it will be zero sugar, okay? Isomalt, any of the sugar alcohols, once again, you got to watch because we're not really sure. You're not having if you're eating a hard candy here and there, that's not going to be a big deal. But you wouldn't be really baking with isomalt because that really could affect your bowels. But for a hard candy here and there, that would be fine. And then if you just look at the ingredients, it's got isomalt, organic stevia, natural flavors, and then they use natural colors from sweet potato, apple, radish, cherry extract for color. So you can see that's a pretty easy, clean product. So that would be a good hard candy to choose versus one that might have, let's just look at Tom and Jenny's caramels. We'll see what kind of stuff is in that. Tom and Jenny, they seem pretty nice people. Yeah, so maltitol, this is not a good sugar-free candy. Maltitol is a sugar alcohol, and then there's heavy cream and palm oil. Run for the hills. That's not a candy that you want, okay? So you have an idea as far as when you're looking at ingredients and things like that for what to look for. All right, so I hope you guys found this helpful. It definitely has given you some options for natural sweeteners. This list is a good list to work off of. whether you're trying to sweeten a sauce or a salad dressing, or you're baking with it, or whatever you're trying, just sweetening up a drink. Sometimes we take monk fruit drops, and we'll take seltzer water and either some fresh ginger or fresh squeezed lime, and we'll make like a ginger ale or a lemonade or something like that. You can always do that with this. But the beauty of this is something like allulose or inulin, you actually have a sugar replacer that's natural, that comes as a fruit extract that doesn't affect your blood sugar at all. So for diabetics, this list is really critical, and you want to pretty much stick with these and try to stay away from everything else, because most other things are just not going to be really good for you. They're going to be toxic or hidden sugars or hidden corn source or whatever, which you guys are trying to avoid. So I hope you liked the video. Please click the like button below. That really helps out our channel. And of course, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and stay tuned to more videos that are coming.